Hello, hello. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm Mbeya, and today I'm taking a look at Race the Sun on the PC. Race the Sun is an endless racer where the objective is to keep your craft in the sunlight at all times. Your craft is solar powered, so going into the shadows of obstacles or allowing the sun to dip behind the horizon means your ship slowly grinds to a halt. What's interesting about Race the Sun is that the map changes every day. Unfortunately, you've only got the choice of the one map in the Race the Sun game mode, which is the main game mode, but the map will change tomorrow and the day after and so on. So it's interesting that you can try to master it while it's available and climb up the leaderboards, and it works pretty well. I wish there was like a calendar sort of option where you could race previous levels, but what's on offer is pretty good. It certainly means you've got a lot of content for your purchase. You can configure your ship a little bit with a couple of custom abilities, as you see. I will be choosing to pick up objects from a greater distance and allowing my ship to turn faster. You've got your stats screen, which show your all-time scores, which is nice. And your decals, which just adds a little symbol to your craft, which I'm going to go with the Dracogen decal because it reminds me of the Acheron's Cool logo. You can control the game with keyboard or controller. In this case I'm going to be using the controller. And let's have a look. It's a minimalist racer, so all very simple to look at. But the aesthetic works quite well. I'm running this in downsampled, so it looks a tiny bit smoother than normal, but it's got some nice effects to it. As you see, the objective is really just to avoid the obstacles and collect these little blue icons. The blue indicates a multiplier. When you've got 5, your multiplier goes up, increasing your score. The yellow stars that I just collected there boost you forwards, getting you closer to the sun, which gives the effect of the sun raising. And that little portal I just passed makes you perfect the region you're in, which I was right at the end anyway, so it was a bit pointless going into it. And you see the clouds offer big cloud-based cover, which slows your craft down as you go into the shade. You see a lot of moving elements are starting to be introduced. It steadily gets harder as you progress. Much more obstacles. I am using a left analog stick to control my craft, and I can use A to use my saved jump that I've got, which I will do if I get into trouble, hopefully. Haven't got much speed at the moment. I'm going to take advantage of that portal and skip to the end of that region. When you finish a region, you get this little bonus from this butterfly type thing, which is always handy. Gets surprisingly more difficult as you progress, and as you can imagine, it also gets harder to talk while you're playing. Let's have a jump. More obstacles, and it gets higher and higher, producing more shade, which slows your craft down. Oh no! And that was unfortunate. Once you collide with the wall head on, it's, well, game over for that race. But a simple press of the A button and you get right back into the swing of things. There's no delay, which is quite frankly brilliant. It means you can just start off from the beginning and try and beat your previous run. By taking a different route if you wish, which is what I'm doing now. See, let's do a barrel roll, which I think is a nice little homage that's really what the game is. Personally, I find it very, very entertaining. I've already put a couple of hours into it, and I continue to visit it on an almost daily basis just to experience a new map. The maps don't vary greatly, unfortunately, most notably in colour, which I think is a real shame. I think you could do some cool things with the aesthetics. Ooh. As you saw there, I collided sideways into an obstacle which rebounded me into the wall. You can see how different it becomes simply by taking a different route in the game. There's, like I said, a surprising amount of content, really. Seem to have a good line at the moment. Obviously, the better you do, the more pickups you acquire, the more time you have to spend in the game world. Hopefully what I can show you, if I do well enough, is what happens when the sun dips behind the horizon. So that'll be the goal. In fact, I think I will skip collecting the yellow star power-ups to show you what happens. And if I can, I'll go in the shade a bit to speed it up. Cloud over there, so let's go towards that. As you see now, if you're watching, this little bar goes to red to indicate that your craft's not getting power. And the sun dipping. Oh, this will be handy. With any luck. Oh no, this isn't going to go well. Oh, I didn't get to show you what I was after. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, one more try at that then. I skipped that portal right at the start in order to see if I can get a bit more points. I believe you get a bonus for perfecting a round. Oops, didn't mean to get that. Cool. Yep, let me get that one as well. Okay, let's just go for a good run this time. See the introduction of moving elements, which can be aesthetic as well as a pain. The rockets taking off. Ooh, that was close. The red blocks tend to move, so that's a good thing to bear in mind as we enter the 4th region. What's nice again is because it changes every day, you don't know what to expect. Although it tends to be along the same theme, it's always fresh. Ooh, clip that. As you see, when you clip it, you slow down a lot. In this region, it seems there are explosions going off, which you have to do your best to evade. Because if you go into them you get blinded for a short duration, and as you can imagine, being blinded in this sort of game doesn't do you any favours. But so far so good. And that region's clear. You see the sun starting to dip again, and raise with that power up. As we use a jump to bypass some of the obstacles. And try and avoid the shade as much as possible. But we're running a little low on sunlight. It's going to be tricky to pull back from this, I think. I could have went for the items to the left then, but a bit out of my range, I think. And again, we're going to have to make a run for one of these. Nope. And we grind to a halt. Typically, when I was going for the points, I get to show you what happens when you fail and run out of sunlight. Well, that should give you a good overview of the game, I think. I actually recommend it for what's on offer. It's really enjoyable, really fluid, the controls are great. I never feel frustrated with hurtling into an object because it wasn't my fault. It's simply a matter of the obstacles being in the right place, me being in the wrong place, or simple incompetence, which happens a great deal. So, thank you very much for joining me. I'll leave you with one more run through. Take care.